see so many concerned folks out here today. Just before we get started, a few things. We do have a full-time occupation, as many of you know, going on in Central Park. As of right now, our General Assemblies are every day from 1 o'clock and 1 at 7 o'clock. You know, we all have our personal reasons for being out here. I would just like to remind everyone to engage the public in a calm and courteous manner. The people with the opposing views are the most important people right now. We need to remember to treat them with respect and dignity. We're going to be going on the march, and Jonathan's going to explain the parameters of the march in a moment, but just remember to keep it simple. We're protesting greed in a monetary system that places profits before human life, and I hope everyone has a great time in supporting this cause and taking an active participation in change, because we need it so much. Thank you. Here's Jonathan. Hello? So we're going to be starting here, and we're going to go down East 4th Street, in that way. And then we are going to be turning right on Salem Street. And from there, I don't live in Chico. Oh yeah. Yeah, well, very good. Okay. We're going to go down Salem Street and take a right on East 1st. Keep waiting. And then we're going to go down Woodstock Pizza. And then down 2nd. Doesn't bother me. Then Bloom.
Around the farmer's market and then back to here.
Around the farmer's market and then back to here. Follow along.
If people with yellow armbands, like this one on my left arm, are monitors, we're going to be at the intersections and making sure that people don't cross the traffic.
I got 15 minutes. Hello! Do I need one?
I don't think so.
My name is Quentin Christopher Colgan. I stand here without a mask, and I give you my full name because although I am scared, I am not a coward.
Here, here!
I was born into a military family. My father brought back the first flag they raised on Mount Suribachi in Iwo Jima. This completely sparked my interest in history. Please forgive my militant terminology and anecdotes. It's what I know. As a historian, I can tell you that if we do not learn from history, we are damned to repeat it. I also know that history is written by the winners of wars, not the winners of the World Series.
Here, here.
Our species is militant. It is in our DNA as a survival mechanism. I also grew up in an Irish Catholic family. The same three things on the wall of my living room can be found on the wall of millions of American homes. A picture of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. A picture of John Fitzgerald Kennedy. And one of those needlepoint thingies that says, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And I emphasize the word country. Why are you here today? In the movie The Untouchables, there's that great scene, I love Brian De Palma. Sean Connery gets about 100 rounds from a machine gun shot into him, and he lives long enough to ask Kevin Costner, what are you prepared to do? Are you prepared to die?
Yep.
They won't hesitate to kill you. We learned 41 years ago in Kent, Ohio, if you witness a against corporatism, they'll kill you. We learned a couple weeks later in Jackson, Mississippi. Excuse me. Excuse me, please. This is my opinion. They have killed 6,000 of our best and brightest in the Middle East in a war for oil. They won't hesitate to kill us. Do you think they give a damn about us? How many of the protesters have they locked up right now? How many of the corporatists that have destroyed our economy and getting ready to sell our country to another nation have they locked up? Did you see what they did in Boston earlier this week? I'm sorry, I don't wish to sound so militant, my friends, but this is a war for the very soul of our nation. So I ask you again, what are you prepared to do?
Shake the cage!
This is a war between us and corporatism. 90 years ago, Benito Mussolini thought that fascism should be properly called corporatism because fascism is ruled by corporate decree.
Here, here!
Now, if I call them fascists, it isn't hyperbole, it's a fact.
Fact!
Fact! Wars are won, not just with weapons. In fact, I'm a peacemaker. Wars are won with dedication. The battle for civil rights was fought with only the corporatists using the violence. The people in the right were peaceful, but dedicated. In the battle for Dien Bien Phu, 1956, the Vietnamese had no roads to transport their artillery up the passes for the siege against the French. As they were moving their equipment, the pass would crumble away. I'm told a soldier would lay down in the gap, knowing he'd be crushed by the equipment and the troops marching over him. Is it true? I don't know, but I do know that the United States killed 2 million Vietnamese, and they won the war with dedication. In the winter of 1941, as the fascists were laying siege to Leningrad, the Russians had more soldiers than rifles. The battle plan was simple. When the guy in front of you got killed, you picked up his rifle, and you used it until you got killed, and the guy behind you picked it up. They used that to drive the fascists all the way out. My friends, that's dedication. I mention this dedication because I've had some wonderful discussions and I've made some wonderful friends since we've been on the plaza Sunday. I know violence solves nothing. I spoke at length with a man who walks very close to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. He was correct, and that we must not resist the forces of evil.
Let the man speak!
He told me if the man in front of him gets clubbed, he will step in and take the next clubbing. Now, I don't have a rifle.
I said that, I didn't mean it on a soapbox.
I have a sign for a weapon.
I don't care. Why are we listening to
Were you sent here to interrupt this man?
This is a bad
Let the man speak!
It's about children in this room. It's about us loving and caring about each other. It's not to let these corporations.
It's about lowering fear and raising
And this
love.
is how we lose the war by division. The same way we lost it for 2 centuries. Since shortly after the birth of our nation, and against the stern warning of our first president,
Let's start walking.
Thinking is boring! Thinking is hard work!
greedy interests have divided us into patriots and Tories, federalists, Democrats, Whigs, progressives, and conservatives.
Come on, everybody, we can start the party! Peace and love! You live under a fascist government! Your president is not an autonomous American representative! He is a vassal! A pawn of tyranny! There is a king that rules us all! And his name is not Barack Obama! He is but a general in an international occupation of liberty! If you do not boil down the truth, you have no hope of defeating that which you set out to denounce!
And this is why America fails.
I'm not a leader. I'm an informer. I am an educator. I am a speaker of truth. I am a speaker of truth.
Go, brother. Go.
address me in an aggressive fashion. I will get down and sit on the ground right to you. I am a speaker of truth. I am not a leader. I am a speaker of truth. Why are you here in my space? Why are you here in my space? What are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to
I'm saying the best kind of communication is one-on-one, where you engage me. What you engage me,
That's not how communication works.
it is.
TV, 40 million Americans per hour.
That's
How do we beat that?
by talking one-on-one, by developing community, not by having
How many people understand that we are not ruled by an independent leader?
Let's just
How many people
let's
understand
stop. Can I say something?
I'm asking you.
Okay. The movement in New York got started, and the reason that it's working is because it's leaderless and because it's building community among people. There aren't people giving speeches. People are talking, building community amongst each other. For you to stand up here and yell at people is not an effective way to build the community organization that needs to happen to make this thing grow. You're defeating it. You're acting against your own interest by screaming at people. You should talk to everyone. These people one-on-one. Talk to. I don't know, but I'm not trying to cut you off.
A conceptual ideal.
Okay, then talk to people one-on-one. Talk to people one-on-one. You'll be more. No, I'm bringing through to you that you are turning people off by screaming at them. Absolutely, I'm talking about effectively building.
Stay miserable. Keep reading newspapers. Keep watching mainstream media on the television. You are not divine and individual human beings. You are consumers. Consume, consume, consume until we have no planet left to consume.